You've built a business on hustle, discipline, sweat. But if your brand's invisible, your growth is limited. Welcome to Growth Mode On, the podcast for business owners who don't have time for fluff, filters, or creative genius. We're here to help you flip the switch, build your brand, and grow your business with real talk, smart strategy, and a dose of healthy hustle. Whether you're on the move, in the gym, or grinding through your next big goal, this show gives you the branding, marketing, and YouTube insight you need to scale with clarity, not chaos.
I'm Jill.
I'm Eric.
And this is Growth Mode On. Let's get to work.
We didn't start this podcast to talk about branding fluff or viral trends. We started it because too many smart, hardworking business owners are invisible, and they don't even realize it. This is for the builders, the movers, the disciplined, health-minded doers who don't think of themselves as creative, but still want to grow. Okay, Jill, let's talk about why we're here today. This is our first episode, so why are we here? What are we doing? And we kind of did talk about it a little bit in the intro, but basically we're here for those business owners that want to grow but have no idea about branding and are just doing something different every day.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I'm a designer. I know I haven't introduced myself, but I'm a visual designer and I've been designing for 11 years. I've worked in nonprofits, corporate companies, and my focus is on branding. So I want to educate people on branding and why it's important and why businesses need it and why it's really crucial to help your business grow.
So how many people do you know that have no idea about branding?
A lot. I've even had people people ask me, oh, what do you do? And sometimes I'll say visual designer, sometimes graphic designer, and people will literally say, I have no idea what that means. So that makes me think, okay, no, a lot of the creative fields is just a big unknown to people who are, not that people are not creative, but people who are not in the creative industry.
Yeah, and I totally get you because I'm like, I do Aikido, right? And you took one of my classes once, but whenever someone asks me, like, what do you do? I say, I do Aikido. They're like, what's that? Mm-hmm. And so I just totally don't say that anymore. I just say, hey, I do martial arts, even though it's, it's like, and I don't want to say karate.
Yeah, no,
because it's not karate. But everyone knows karate and taekwondo. But branding, like very few people understand what branding is all about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you want me to go into it or?
Yeah, so like if you were, like, let's say if you could sum up branding into one sentence, what would you say?
Into one sentence. I really want to use the word personality of your business. Businesses have personalities. Like think of Buc-ee's, for example. Yeah. You already have instant imagery pop up in your mind.
Yeah, I can't believe that worked.
Their branding?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good brand. Or even think of another brand. I'm thinking of brands that there's a big attachment to the branding.
The first time I saw that Buc-ee's, like my kids came home from school and I want a Buc-ee's t-shirt. And I'm like, what? And I saw that and I saw the beaver and I was like, what in the world is that?
Yeah.
And that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's an old logo.
Well, maybe it was 25. I think I'm outdating myself a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 24 years ago. I don't know. I wonder how old Buc-ee's is. We should look into that.
No idea. But no, that branding, they're a special one. They're a special one. Visually, it is, I don't want to say old, but it was clearly done probably 10, 20 years ago, but it's still working.
Yeah.
Sometimes companies will need a rebrand sometimes, and also, like Buc-ee's was not a part of my childhood because I didn't grow up here. Yeah. So I have a different relationship with Buc-ee's, but I can imagine that they did a ton of marketing in their early years of business to the point where a rebrand is not even necessary.
Oh yeah. They have amazing branding. You when you drive, like let's say whenever I drive to San Antonio, it's like I'm looking for the Buc-ee's sign.
Oh yeah. I am too.
Right? It's like, and then I think it's just all around clean bathrooms, right?
Totally.
Mm-hmm. And so I wonder, like Buc-ee's, they spend probably millions and millions of dollars on that. But like for a business owner, right? I wonder how they can use branding to build their business.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if it's a small business, let's say
1 to 5 million a year in revenue.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first place to start is definitely the branding.
Yeah.
Like hire a branding agency, a creative agency. That's going to include an agency is going to include designers, writers. And that's a bit of a loaded question. That's a big question.
Yeah, and it kind of like that's why we're here, right? We're here to give those business owners ideas of how they can build their brand and how they can use these strategies and techniques to be consistent. Because branding is maybe, I don't know, you tell me, it's about being consistent with a logo, being consistent with the type font, being consistent with like the look, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It is visual consistency, but there's more to that. You're creating trust for really your target audience. Because if your branding is kind of all over the place and there isn't consistency, like people will naturally question it. It's like if somebody invites you to a party and the flyer looks terrible, you're going to question it. You're going to be like, really, do I really want to go to that party? I mean, this looks kind of lame. This doesn't look well done. This doesn't look professional. I don't think I want to go. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. And we had a client that had a different logo on Facebook and a different logo on YouTube and a different logo on Instagram. And it was kind of interesting. And we kind of brought it all together and made it uniform.
Yeah, because people could even think, is this business legitimate?
Yeah.
I mean, why are there different logos? Yeah. So no, it is important. Consistency is important. It's more than just visual consistency.
So Jill, what is it that we actually have to offer to our listeners?
Well, this is a good place to learn about branding, what it is, why businesses need it, its impact on all types of businesses, small businesses, larger businesses, even businesses that have been around for decades, and how transformative it can be for your business.
That sounds pretty exciting. I mean, definitely, I want to use branding for my business, and I've been trying to. And I've got this really cheesy logo that I like, but I'm going to continue using it. Maybe one day I'll change it, but I don't think so. Right? It's not a great idea to change it, huh?
I mean, I definitely need more information. I mean, it depends. Not always. Sometimes a rebrand is totally worth it, and other times it isn't.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, is it a new business? Like the other day we were talking about Olive Garden.
Yeah.
They rebranded and they changed their logo. I don't know how much attachment people have to Olive Garden, or think of like the Coca-Cola brand.
Yeah,
I think if that logo were to be rebranded, people would definitely have an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
An upset, I think.
I remember when they introduced a new Coke. It was like the new formula, and I think it bombed.
Oh, well, what was in the new form? Like in the ingredients?
Yeah, it was just like a new taste.
Oh, I don't know.
It was called the new Coke.
Wow. Yeah. No.
And then they introduced Cherry Coke.
I remember Cherry Coke.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's interesting. So then let's talk about what this podcast is not, because I know like there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of podcasts promising businesses like super growth. They're going to 10 times their business, or like podcasts for marketers, or just trends or hacks. And I don't think that's what this podcast is about at all.
Yeah. No, not at all. No, this is a place for this is a calm, clear path to real business growth through branding, a conversation for disciplined leaders who want visibility without being flashy, a show that honors hard work, thoughtful decisions, and simple systems that compound.
And I like that word, compound. That's like, compound over time is like Warren Buffett is big on compound. And then I can't remember who it was that said, is it Ben Franklin? I think he said that compounding is like the seventh wonder of the world.
I have no idea, but maybe.
It's kind of like, I studied finance a little bit, and then they would say, like, if you started saving money when you were 15 years old and you put $100 a month away, by the time you're 40, you'd be a millionaire. But we don't do that. But that's the power of compounding interest. And I never did that. As a matter of fact, the first time I ever saved money, like I was so happy. I actually saved $20,000, 20 grand. I was like that was the best year of my life.
Yeah.
And then I got my IRS bill, and it was like $19,980. Totally destroyed me.
No. But good thing you had saved that amount.
Right?
It's like intuitively, maybe you knew you were going to have that 20 grand available.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it was just painful to part with that money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is going to be an exciting show. And I wonder, like, if we can just share what are some of the things that our viewers can expect from us in the future. Because, this is our initial podcast, our very first podcast. And I'm excited for future podcasts. But I think we can do a lot of stuff. We can do like interviews. We can talk about strategy breakdowns. We can have like business owners come on the show and talk about how they've used branding to grow and how it's been effective for them. And then we could even bring owners that have never used branding before and do like a live consultation with them to show you guys how we work with people.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that'd be very useful. I would also like to bring in, most of my contacts are in the creative field. So I would like to bring in copywriters, designers, even voice actors. Branding, it's not just website and social media. Because sometimes people are selling books, for example. And if you want your audience to have a different experience with that book, so not just reading it and actually listening to it, you would need a voice actor. So yeah, branding, it includes a lot of areas. So I would like to go into all of those areas, but instead of just focusing on the traditional website, social media. But those are important as well, obviously.
That would be awesome to bring bring a author on the show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, someone that wrote a book about how to implement branding in their business. And we just grilled him and questioned him and just got all those nuggets out for the viewers and the listeners, you know. That would be so cool.
That would be, yeah. I like that idea.
You know, when I was at Vid Summit, this is interesting because I went to a speech and I can't remember the name of the lady, but she actually wrote a book and her first name is Maha. I don't remember her last name because it's a long Indian name. And she talked about personal branding.
Oh, nice.
And she talked about how every YouTuber needs to consider their personal brand. And then personal brand is like you said earlier, is about building that trust and with your audience. Yeah. So that would be cool if we could bring her on the show.
Whoa, that'd be amazing.
But I don't know. She might be way over our head. She might be way out of reach.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
She was like the keynote speaker at the Vid Summit. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she actually works with kings and princes. And she was telling us all these stories about how she works with these people. And I mean, it's pretty intense.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah. So as we continue our show, let's talk a little bit about who we are so our listeners can get to know us a little bit better. And so Jill, what's your origin story? Like, how did you get into branding? What got you into graphic design?
Well, so like I've said, I've been designing for 11 years. When I was in middle school, high school or so, I started falsifying my report cards because my grades, they weren't bad. I mean, they weren't Fs, but I knew that my parents were not going to be happy. So, and just studying more just seemed too complicated. And I was also busy swimming because I was on the swim team. So I felt the need to falsify my report cards. And at that time, thank goodness, they were printable. They were like not digital report cards. So I didn't use Photoshop, but I used some sort of program. I can't remember, but I was falsifying them and then I would reprint them pretty much. And they looked really good. Like I was impressed with my work. And I was like, whoa, I think like I noticed that I had a natural talent for this type of software and for editing files. So I thought, okay, maybe there's something here. I really wanted to focus on corporate branding because, I mean, truthfully, I wanted a stable job as a designer. I mean, you can go many areas as a designer. You can work at an agency, you can be a freelancer, you can go into the corporate world. But I really wanted something stable. So that's why I went the corporate direction. And usually, it's going to be branding for the most part. Well, I think at an agency, you would still do that. But with an agency, you would work with multiple brands.
Yeah.
And in the corporate world, you're the in-house designer for that corporate company. So that's my story. And I've been doing that ever since.
So I have a question for you. So they have to sign your report card, right? So then you had to forge their signature on the original.
No, I would give them my version.
Yeah.
So they would sign my version.
But then you had to give that back to the school, right?
Yeah, I would give it back to the school.
With the forged grades?
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to know.
Really?
I mean, no one ever found out. I mean, how would they possibly know I forged it?
Yeah, you know, that's kind of funny that we're talking about that because I remember when I was in middle school or elementary school, my mom was trying to get a job and she forged her high school diploma.
Oh my God. Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. She got the job.
Good. That's good. Yeah. Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah.
I did it because it was really necessary.
That's back in the day. You could never get away with. I mean, to do something like that, you'd have to be a hacker nowadays. You can't be a graphic designer.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, no. Like if I were, how old was I? I was like 16 when I was doing this. If I were 16 again, and no, I don't think I would be able. Well, actually, no, maybe. Well, no, because I think parents, they get their report cards via email.
Yeah.
I mean, now you can't intercept it.
You have to hack the system.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you know, like my story is a little bit different because I remember like I've always loved watching TV and watching movies. So I wanted to get into movie making. But, you know, I remember I was at Boston University, which is an expensive school, you know, and I'm saying that for a reason because I got on the phone and I called up my dad and I said, hey, Dad, because Boston University has a very good school of communications and that leads into the filmmaking industry. It's really, really, there's a lot of famous people that came out of BU. And so I called up my dad and I said, hey, Dad, I want to transfer to the School of Communications and study film. But then he said, if you do that, I'm not paying for your school. Oh. So that kind of like set me back.
Yeah.
And then I was like lost for like maybe 20 years. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then finally I was like, you know, I've always wanted to do this. So then I enrolled at HCC in their filmmaking program and just went through it. And then I interned at a TV station. Then I got a job at a TV station. And then I started working on YouTube videos. And and I've been doing that since probably 2005.
Yeah. Oh Yeah, a while.
Yeah. And that's how I got into YouTube.
That was smart too, because YouTube was really hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is.
Yeah. YouTube is like, I mean, I think like any business, every single business should be using YouTube to grow their business.
Absolutely.
Like they should have a strategy. And with that strategy, they need to brand it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you can brand YouTube videos and the thumbnails.
Yeah.
I mean, branding is much more. I mean, you can brand anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I went to Vid Summit. Was we're in September? No, we're in October.
No, we're in October.
Yeah. So I went to Vid Summit October 5th through October 10th. And the people that I met that have millions of followers have a very branded channel. And you look at their video and you know what it's going to be about. And it's very expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the way it should be. Yeah. They knew who to hire, or they hired someone who knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah. They intuitively, they have it down.
Good.
Yeah. Which I need to get there. Okay. So let's take a second and talk about what Content Guaranteed is, because that's like our business, right? And we're like kind of like a boutique content and YouTube marketing agency. And like, I actually started this to help businesses actually grow. And it wasn't about like just posting videos. It was about helping, like my vision and my mission is like to help businesses grow, because that's like the bottom line, it's like, why are you going to post something if it's not going to benefit you?
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got started. And then definitely, looking, trying to help companies that are within the $1 million to $5 million range that want to scale up, that want to use branding, YouTube, SEO, these kind of strategies in order to grow their business. And, I mentioned Aikido earlier, and I just kind of want to throw that in there because, Aikido was a huge part of who I am, and it shaped me. It shaped how I think, and the discipline and the hard work and the perseverance. And I think when we're talking about branding, a lot of that plays into branding, putting a lot of hard work into it, persevering over a long period of time.
Yeah, because branding works. I mean, it's post weekly. Yeah. It's either on, especially YouTube, but any other social media channels you have. I mean, it's just to consistently, like, for example, just post something weekly, send out that newsletter or send out that email on a weekly, or maybe the newsletter doesn't have to be weekly, but it does take perseverance to get the branding strategy to work.
Yeah. The most important thing is helping people get that going, because I know that's hard. Like we're talking about, doing a newsletter, posting on YouTube, posting on Instagram, posting on TikTok, posting on LinkedIn, having your website. I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is a lot. So, that's why it is best for businesses to hire a creative agency to take care of all of that, because it is a lot of work. So if you have the agency taking care of all of that work, then you as a business owner can focus on other areas of your business.
Yeah, like growing the business. Yeah, definitely. I like that.
Yeah, or even just other areas like the accounting area, or I don't have a business, so but just other areas of business that are not the branding and the creative side.
Yeah. Which is, it kind of boils down to marketing and sales. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to wrap it up because it's kind of that hour. And just to summarize, we kind of talked about why we're here. We talked about what this podcast is about, what to expect in future episodes, who we are, and how we can help you as listeners, as business owners. And I'm really excited about this. This is our very first episode, so I kind of feel like it's going to suck no matter what.
No, hopefully it won't. Yeah, I'm worried that I'm going to start stuttering and that I'll be too soft-spoken and no one will be able to hear me. But I don't think that'll be the case.
No, I don't think so. It's kind of like I tell all my clients, I say, I start a YouTube channel with the client and they're like, man, I don't like getting in front of the camera. I suck. And I said, yeah, it's going to take you like 100 episodes before you get good. And even though I've been in front of the camera thousands, I've literally made thousands of videos.